You noble diggers, all stand up now.
Hello my friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about what will taxes be like after the revolution. I apologize because today we will have to be using some words that are scary but not interchangeable, right? We will have to be thinking about what's the difference between socialist and socialized and society, right? So all these words don't mean each other, right? Socialist technically means for the workers to own the means of production, right? And to switch a key and flip the Anglo-American economy into something that is socialist, is owned by the workers, would be basically impossible, right? And so there must be socialized policies that lead us towards this socialist, and then from socialist, hopefully, onwards to complete equality. But socialist policies just don't happen on their own, right? There has to be a gardening, there has to be a change of policy slowly, day by day, so that the bureaucracy, the institutional knowledge shifts, the institutional demeanor shifts. Um, this could involve a number of things, right? Piecework, which means you're paid by the useful pieces that you made during your shift, was something that the USSR used. I really like that. The Japanese, though not socialist at all, and in fact approaching fascist, have this almost national socialist vision where they they enforce on the companies that the worker must be found a role. And I really like that too, because the society is what it is, the population is what it is. Take Canada for instance, we have 30 million people. I can't just send people away because I think they're stupid or they're not as useful as I would like. No, everyone must be found a use, and that use must be good for society too. It must not just be busy work to keep them occupied. And it can be done, right? There's lots of work to be done as long as the imagination is squared correctly. But basically, I'm going to envision what I would see as a socialized version of the tax system for Anglo-America, and admit it's not socialist because you can't just announce socialism, right? Power is not a command, it's a muscle, it's an exercise, right? So I can't just say I am the king, right? You have to be the most powerful man.
I am the king! I will punish you.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
And so getting back to socialized tax policies for the poor, right? We're going to split this up into three parts: poor, petit bourgeois, middle, and rich, right? So for the poor, I really hate how the tax system just interacts with them, right? Like as a user interface level, right? Every week across North America, the same damn debate happens between supervisors and workers, right? And the debate goes something like this: would you like to work overtime, Paul? No, I can't work overtime because then the taxes will get me, right? That's not how taxes work. And on it goes, right? The tiered system of tax, the progressive tax system, just doesn't make sense to like anybody below a 95 IQ. You can't make them understand that the money only comes from the pool that's over 100 grand or whatever we're talking about at that time.
Their fair share of taxes.
What is their fair share?
I don't know. I mean, under Eisenhower, the very rich paid at their upper levels 90%. But let me be very honest with you, Joe, on this one.
90% is kind of crazy, though. Right?
No, that's not, of course. That's just for the your billionth dollar. You know what I mean? It's not your first dollar. It's
so
not
if
like,
you make $1 billion, you pay 900 million.
No, that's not what it means. It means on your $900 million, you're going to pay 90%.
Or that if they take the overtime, they'll be taxed as though they're making that money all year, but then it'll be a credit come tax time, and plus they'll have made more money this week as well, right? And so all of it just makes no sense. It's ridiculous, it's unreasonable for a worker to be expected to think about that, to wargame that all out, right? A worker should be paid, a worker should be able to work overtime, and never ever see the money that's being paid off them to the nation, right? That should be between the employer and the business. Sorry, the employer and the nation. The employer can, pay their worker 50, 60K, whatever it is, and then separately send a check for 5, 10, 15K to the government. Brutal. For the middle, I will just freely admit that I mean to make things hell for the middle. I can't stand how society works right now, right? It's like, if you have brains, you can move up. It's like, it's not what it means, right? It means that if you choose to prey upon your fellow man, and it's easy, right? It's easy to make money in this society. You just go out and take it from fools, right? But I refuse to. I will not, right? So I just don't get to be a productive member of society, even though I'm, your intellectual better. That's crazy, right? And so, yeah, it's going to be impossible, basically, for a middle to move up, as it is in today's system. There will be no more Tiger Kings, right? Or Renaissance fair chiefs and kings. These people are crazy. They're malicious. They're sadistic, right? They're not welcome in society, and they're not necessary. They don't improve it. They don't find things, so much faster than the market would otherwise, that it, necessitates granting these fiefdoms to these evil, stupid men. So we're just not going to do it anymore. It'll be almost impossible to move from the middle to the up after socialized economies, because the rigidity, the structure of peace for everyone, of prosperity for everyone, will stop advancement and upward momentum, and that is a negative, right? And I freely admit that I take that so that the poor can stop being screwed with, and also for this next part, which is what I plan to do with the rich, right? Which is to cow them. They are to be silenced. They are to be scared. They should be looking over their shoulder every year, thinking, "Did I do enough this year?" Right? You can't tax them into oblivion, right? The Reagan reaction to the New Deal movement that destroyed the New Deal movement and reintroduced neoliberalism that is crushing America right now, right? That has starved it of the resources it needs, is a reaction to being taxed to the point of extinction, in my opinion. To be pushed at a 90 or 70 or 80% tax rate for that long is tough. And so I would implement new tax legislation that engages and disengages, kind of like an auto braking system. If you've ever driven a car in the ice, if you hit the brake too hard, you won't stop, right? And so they've added a system that taps the brakes for you, right? And that's kind of what this law will do. It'll use proportionality. It'll use a historical reference to the distribution of wealth, and anytime things get out of whack, it'll just recenter. It'll probably phrase these as a levy, right? That the wealthy have not contributed their share over the last turn, or it is time for the wealthy to contribute again, and they'll be given a different type of tax, right? An income tax is no good, but if you could tithe them, right, 10% of their land for 6 years in a row, right? That'd really put a hatchet to their power. And also, afterwards, you could put the old laws back so that they had nothing to complain about, right? And then if they get out of whack again in 10, 20 years, you just put the law back in, and even if you phrase it correctly, it would just automatically engage, right? Once certain mathematical parameters have been met, set by some oversight committee within the parliament. That's how I would do it, at least, right? That every time the state seems like it needs money, that it is taken from the rich, poured into productive and explorative exercises that may balance the budget sheet until such a time as we reach our next exploration or production stage, paradigm shift. And so I guess the point is that society should run like a McLaren, right? It should be a fine-tuned machine with all these legislative systems that come in and out of existence based on their own design input. And we don't have that. What we have right now is just nonsense, inherited nonsense led by fools, superstitious ninnies, right? People who can't think, religious fools who think that God gave them the market, right? They're illiterates. We don't need that anymore. We need to do better, and we need to do it now so that we can save the world, right? 100 million refugees by 2035, 7 billion starved to death by 2075. Things have to go now. We have to go now, and this is how I would tax North America and probably use it as the example for the rest of the world, so as to give the resources that the state needs to address the catastrophe that is climate change. Have a nice day.